This week's video, I'm going to be answering some of your questions as part of my Ask Me Anything series, and we are filming from the Standard Hotel in London. So, first question. What was your first job like? Well, my first job was as a dental nurse. I did my my work experience at my dentist because I always thought that I actually wanted to be a dentist. I loved it so much, and my dentist actually offered me a part-time job as a dental nurse at the surgery. So I specialised in dental implant assistance, which is basically when people have teeth taken out and false teeth drilled, a new set of teeth drilled into the gums, which is a very gory process, and I would assist with those surgeries, and I would also take photographs of the surgeries. So maybe that's why I kind of feel quite comfortable about gruesome things. Then I worked as a chef for about 5 years. I was working in a restaurant when I was about 15. I won't say which restaurant because I think that's illegal, isn't it, when you're not meant to hire people under the age of 17 or something. And there was a Michelin-starred chef working there, and I said to him, I don't want to be waitressing, I want to be working with you in the kitchen. So he trained me up, and I worked with him in the kitchen till I was about 21. I was still working in a kitchen when I moved to London and stuff, so I did that for many years. And then my first professional job as a makeup artist, I feel, was after face painting at kids' parties for years, I think was a show. It was a show for Christopher Shannon where I painted, I feel like this was my first big proper job. I painted landscapes it was a menswear show on their faces. I did kind of like beach sunsets, and I did forests and that kind of thing, and that was my kind of introduction to working with face painty creative makeup in fashion. What makes the foundation of a good starting makeup kit? It's hard building a kit. When I first started doing makeup, I just was doing face painting, and I went to Boots, and I literally spent about £25 on as many foundations, I think they were number 7, that I could find, and just kind of very slowly started building my kit up like that, because it's an expensive process. When you kind of get a little more well known in the industry, people send you things, which is just an absolute lifesaver because building a kit can be very expensive. But I think a good range of foundations and kind of face stuff's the best. Do I ever have anxiety about posting and interacting with people on social media? Like most people, I have 2 different social media accounts. I have my burner account and I have my kind of work account, and trying to find the balance of I'd probably get fired if anyone saw my burner account, but I think it's about finding the balance of giving enough of your authentic self to feel satisfied, while also being professional and having a kind of, essentially Instagram is a work account, and it says a lot about who you are, and it's important to project that image in the right way for the audience that you have. So do I get anxiety? Sort of, but the only anxiety is that maybe I want to post sillier, ruder stuff, and I'm not allowed. What was the first dream that you realised? I think actually before I really got into makeup, I was part of, and I still am, part of a dance collective or theatre collective called the Theo Adams Company. And as I'd been doing a lot of dance and theatre growing up, to be on stage and performing with that theatre company really was my dream. And I'm still very close to the company, and I still work with Theo a lot. And I think that for me, that was something that I always aspired to do. And so being part of a theatre company was probably partly realising my dream. And of course, that then helped influence me in my makeup work. And a lot of the things I do now are quite sort of theatrical, I suppose. As a creative director, what do you look for in other artists and photographers to collaborate with? That's actually a really good question. I think I'm always looking for authenticity, and I'm also looking for surprise. I've always wanted to work with Torso Solutions. I think they're really interesting creative direction team. They've done a lot of amazing work for Mugler, which I found really sort of fresh and exciting. I love working with Novembre, who is Florence Tetier and Jean-Salomé Rochat and Georgia Pendlebury, because I feel like they really pioneered a kind of unusual approach to beauty and image making and sort of storytelling, and they're really, really good at bringing interesting people into the folds of the Novembre magazine collective. I guess I just like working with people that are really up for taking risks and trying new things. Jordan Hemingway is a friend and somebody that I really admire. I admire his work so much because often when we shoot, he just tries stuff out and he doesn't know if it'll work, and I think that's part of the process of making a really good image or film, is by just going for it and not being too formulaic, and just, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. What's your biggest dream or goal as a makeup artist? I'm very excited about launching my own brand. I don't think I really got a dream or a goal, but I think I just want to be able to continue evolving and doing new things. I think for me, the biggest fear would be to only be doing one type of thing. And for me, it's important to continue developing my practice as makeup artist, but also as a creative director or collaborator, or working in different art forms and with different people. Considering retraining as a makeup artist, but I'm 40, ? Well, I think that's awesome. I think you should just do in life whatever you feel like doing, whatever makes you happy, whatever excites you and inspires you, because that's what translates, that's what makes a good artist. It's not about age, it's not about where you're from or your background or anything. It's about taste, it's about hard work, and it's about self-belief. And you know, I work with artists who are in their 60s and 70s who are still working on sets and who are still developing products, and that's 30 years past 40. So I think just as long as you're enjoying yourself, keep going. What's my most favourite country or city? Oh, I loved going to Patagonia. A random one, but I had a really amazing walking and climbing holiday there a few years ago, right in the very south, between like Chile and Argentina. That was amazing. And when we flew into Punta Arenas, which is I think it's the city at the very, very bottom, I think the stat is that it rains 365 days of the year, rains or sleets. All the buildings have corrugated iron to protect the outside, so you're kind of driving around this like weird metal city with all these like low bungalows, which are really it's kind of quite scary at night, but really amazing place to be at the sort of very bottom of the world, and the mountains and whatever are gorgeous. So I think maybe there. Best facialist in London. Oh, she'd kill me if I didn't say Yasmina Vico. I also see Dr. Brian Fu, who also is an aesthetician and does microneedling and treatments and all the rest of it. So they're two of my top people to go and see. Yasmina Vico works at Vico Skin with her sister Masha in central London. You've tried all sorts of skin treatments. What do you recommend to broke people? I mean, I am a big fan of microneedling, or the vampire facial, like the thing where they take blood from you and put it through a centrifuge and then inject it back into your face. One thing I had quite a bad rash on my face recently, which is the first time I've ever had any kind of thing like that. I've been very lucky. And I basically had to just go back to basics. I threw out all the skincare stuff, and I just used eczema cream on my face, like double base cream, which is an emollient, and basically acts as a kind of like a dermal shield. And that has been the best thing I've ever done. And it makes your skin look very glowy as well, I guess probably because there's so much petroleum in it. It changed my life, and I probably won't use anything else ever again. Well, I will, but for now. Also, just give yourself a massage at home and get one of those, cryo balls or something. Like, often I go and have a face massage and I'm just like, I could totally do this myself. What a waste of money. So, I think, just do it, DIY it at home. well, that's the end of those questions. And I hope I've answered some of your questions. If not, please send in some more and I'll do another AMA for you in a couple of weeks.